want you to get it all. Okay, so now the next vision, this came as a vision, not as a, so it was this, so I didn't know what it was. So eventually they showed me that this is its number system is like this.
61 to 6.
Right?
666.
Yeah, which is interesting in itself. Okay.
What does this do?
Yeah, so...
This is an amazing case.
So what happens is here, because I know some math, I know that this is a multiplication sign. So I know quadratic equations, if you do one side and it's the same, you can do the same thing to the other side. So I saw, and I rode motorcycles, so I knew that the horse was like a motorcycle. I studied the horse, that it runs, and it rotates from the center point, like this. It goes like that, and it rocks this way and that way from both sides, like that. So I multiplied 6 times 6, and I got 360. And then I did this also on the other side. I said, wow, this is cute, but that's crazy. That's cute, but that's crazy. But I didn't have all the things that are...
You're saying degrees of a circle?
Yeah, so now the question is, what's degrees of a circle? Now, the next thing it showed me is that the way you perceive reality is from the level of consciousness that you're living at. And even Einstein said very clearly is that you can't change the level of reality from the level that you created at. So therefore, then they showed me a vision like this. What if the Seuss was written like this? I don't know, one of my kids, I don't know, whatever happened. He wrote it like that.
Uh-huh.
So I said, wow, that's interesting. What is it? So they said, that's a Seuss. It's just...
It's a wheel.
Well, what are the letters? In other words, if you say what it is, what does it spell? So therefore, now look at it like this. That's good. Now look at it like this. Okay?
It's also a dumbbell.
Look at it like this. Where this is somewhat attached to this.
That's your axle in the wheel.
Right.
That's your sus.
No, but it's also...
A modern sus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now look at it like this. Now what's the...
Oh, when you look at it like that.
Now look at it like that. What is it? That happens to be a reactor. That's the symbol for a nuclear reactor.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and inside of here is your hydrogen molecules. And here you have your two magnetic fields. So then later on, what they showed me, and Moshe helped me with this, is that when you write the shin letter in Shemesh, in the sun, it's spelled out shin.
Yeah, shin good none.
And what does that spell?
360. Shin.
360. So in the language of the Gemara, that's called a hekesh. That's like, I said, what the heck? Wow, that's crazy. I mean, that's nuts. But that what's inside of the sun is magnetic fields. So 360 and the samik in algebra, that would be the symbol for a magnetic field. Because everything is field, so that's the symbol for a magnetic field.
So then you have the mem in the middle.
But don't go there yet.
Yeah.
You're
just doing some of
the
it?
just go. Okay, I want you to see that. So that was a vision that complemented the other things. So this is the thing that's generating the energy. It's going to generate the energy, just like the braces generates the energy. But what's separated? So really, the symbol for the relationship in creation, right? All right, is two parallel lines and a perpendicular. So that's exactly what the first letter is. So this is yeah. In the end, it's a base.
First letter of what?
Of the alphabet is a symbol for the separation and the union of creation. Two parallel lines. The simplicity of geometry is a line.
Right.
So one line represents here, one line here. That's called heaven and earth. One line going this way, which is the first form of creation, is the base, right? It's the first letter. So that's the symbol for the unity of how it's going to be unified, heaven and earth. You see that? Okay, now I have to prepare you, because now we're going to go into something that, whatever you want to call it, it's beyond anything that we could ever dreamed of. And you have to cry, you have to do tshuva, you have to realize, what's the level of holy ground that you can be on. So I remember one time I walked into Saba, and I didn't go to the mikveh, and the energy from his field threw me from one end
Saba
of the room.
is
That's Rabbi
Some
Yisrael
holy
Dov
man.
Odessa.
He knew him. He was an old man. He was 100 years
He's
old.
the one with the
No.
Nana.
So I walked in the room where it was, and I tell you what really happened is that he was luminescent or whatever you want. I don't care. I mean, I'm a regular guy, but the energy field was so thick, like it pushed me like this. I don't know what Saba is or what he's not. I don't care. But the point was, he was like a nuclear reactor at that moment. Okay. So the symbol for the reactor, or the symbol for the beginning of creation and the end of creation, is really this symbol. Now you want to call it a base, you want to call it whatever you want, but in geometry, it's two parallel lines in a perpendicular.
Correct.
right. Okay.
Okay, which what this turns out to be, it's two parallel lines and a perpendicular. Now, I only recently found out something that I understood, is that really inside of the sun, so if this is really a shin and this is really a shin, so in a reactor you have two hydrogen molecules, but the question is, where do you actually see the redemption of the world? In other words, if the letters are really symbols for something, so where do you see it? So what words or what would represent symbolically for what? Yeah, what names, I don't want to give away too much, what names? What names of the tribes are the symbols for the redemption of the world?
Yehuda?
Well, Yehuda is actually one, but we're not going to discuss that one.
I mean, you guys are supposed to come together.
No, it would be Yosef and Ben Yomin, and only those two. Yehuda would be before creation, because that's God's holy name, which I'll show you where God's holy name comes from in a few seconds. So therefore, if you look at the two names, which I wouldn't have known this unless I was sitting right here to see it, is you have Yosef and you have Ben Yomin. Now, by just looking at it, you have no idea what it's talking about, but since we know that everything is a symbol for something else, and they're in relationship to Yeshua, so watch this. This is a present to Moshe. And we'll give significance for the reason why I had to be in spot, because I don't think I would have found this unless I was sitting right here, and one day like they hit me in the head. So let's take Yosef, and watch Yosef. Yud, Vav, Samek, Pei, Sofi. Okay, Moshe, you got to stay with me, and you can help me with this. So what I noticed, very interesting, is that the letter Pei is at the end of the word.
Right.
So Pei in Moshe's language represents Malchut, right? Why it's on the mouth. It's that part of the mouth that would be represented by the letter, and it's at the end, so that represents the idea is what are you going to do in the end? In other words, if it's in the end, it's at the end, and it's also Malchut.
Okay.
So what is Yosef going to do in the end in order to bring the Malchut? Okay? Now, significantly over here, if you happen to add up Yud plus Vav plus Samech plus 1 letter, 2 letter, 3 letter, 4 letter, plus its osios, it happens also to add up to the Malchut, which is 80, which is unusual to begin with. You see that? Mm-hmm. That's also significant, Moshe will tell you. You see that? Yud is 10, Vav is 60, which is 76, plus its osios is equal to 80. Okay, now that's very interesting because that's like an inference to the fact of the Malchut is significant, meaning that this will happen. Now watch this. So we had just learned, remember, someone's teaching us that these three letters have a relationship to each other inside of the Sus. So they taught me that I can multiply this middle letter by this because it's already now a standard. So if I multiply the Vav times the Yud, I get 60. So now I have Samek, Vav, Samek. So therefore, it's the Sus which is going to give Yosef his ability to be able to produce Malchut in the end. Now watch this. That in alone, I wouldn't say, okay, I could leave it. But in relationship to what I'm going to show you next, the significance of the detail of what you want to call it is Benjamin in relationship to Yosef. Now, Benjamin only in relationship to Yosef. So if we say that Benjamin represents the Beis HaMikdash,
Right.
and he represents the connection between heaven and earth, because that's what the Beit HaMikdash is supposed to do. So that's the letter or the symbol of that. Now, if we take
But he's also his brother.
Well, just a
yes,
second. Yeah.
in relation, you'll see in the end, work backwards.
Watch what he's going to do.
So if you take
this is
if you
unbelievable.
take the nun and the yud and add it together, what do you get? What do you get?
He won.
60.
60 or the salmon.
Sorry.
You get the salmon. Okay? Now you have the mem in the middle, which represents what letter? It's hydrogen. That's hydrogen. And yud plus nun is the same two letters is the salmon.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
here you have the reactor of what's inside of the reactor is the hydrogen. So it actually spells what letter? Shin.
Man, sure.
That's right. That's crazy. That is so off the freaking charts in there. What are you talking about? How could that be? Where was it?
And that's Benjamin.
That's Benjamin. That's what he is. Benjamin is the Malchut itself, the Atara, right?
Right.
Or whatever. And Yosef is the generator, which is causative. But without the Beis HaMikdash, Yosef is not the Beis HaMikdash.
Right.
He's the technology, which Moshe said, oh my God, it really is. Yosef is the technology.
Right.
But Benjamin represents, why am I doing it here in Eretz Yisrael? Because of the following reason. You listening?
Mm-hmm.
The following reason is that there's an element that's missing in Chutz La'aretz. I could have done it in Chutz. I had the money to do it in Chutz La'aretz. Everybody want to go to Costa Rica. I'll give you a little one. Doesn't work. The question is what? So this is one of the things they gave. This is what they gave me in heaven. They said that the number. Watch this. 640 is the number of the sun.
Right, that's
So
the gematria.
yeah, but that's like a Malchut gematria. It's not like a
Right.
Chetz. That's what it
That's
is
right.
itself. That's Shin Mem Shin. Now watch this. So if I'm representing as symbols, numbers in relationship to symbols, so what would be the number symbol of the Jewish people? Out of all the numbers that you can choose, what number that 99%, if you put this number up, the Jewish people, yay, in the middle of a football game, the number went up. What would you say? What number?
The number popped in my head was 72.
What?
That's probably
Come
not
on,
even
come on. There's only one number. If you tell me there's one number, another, then I'll rip this up. There's only one number that represents the Jewish people. That's Kuli Alma.
I think it's a different answer.
No, I know you can, but there is only one.
One.
That's what God says. This is who you are. Who are you? If I ask you, who are you?
I'm Echad.
What? No. What's the number for who you are? As a cloud.
12,
13.
No.
7.
613. That's it. That's what you do. That's who you are. Nobody else does that. Nobody else knows what it is.
Okay.
Am I right or wrong? If you tell me I'm wrong, I'll burn it. Okay?
I'll go along with it. It's been pretty great so far.
Okay.
Pretty amazing.
Now,
Go for it.
what do the Jewish people do?
The mitzvot.
For what purpose? For what purpose?
Well, what did the Jewish people do? What?
To receive life. To want to the
How do they
highest.
do it? And what number is that?
Actually, you know?
That's that number. Okay, there's only one number, and that's this. That's the only number. Why? Because that's 13 and 13. Because they do unity, like you said, and they do ahava. That's who God is, and that's what they. So that's who they do. And what do they get when they do that? What number? What number do they get when they do that?
Or.
What?
Or.
What happens to them? Yeah, if they do 26, which is the Shekhinah, and they do 6 to this, in other words, this is who they are. This is what they do. They unite.
After it?
Yeah, what number is that?
639.
1. So add that up. What do you got?
640.
Yeah. So the answer is what I.
Six.
That's equal to 640. The Shemesh. So one day the oil of Anakol
One day what?
One day the oil of Levana will be the oil of Chama. So that's what I say to you is that's an element in the creation of the thing itself. So if someone else tries to do it, it won't work. Go to store and go anyway. It doesn't work because it has to be this.
Right.
That was one of the elements. Got that?
Perfectly clear.
Okay. So,
I think on a totally side note,
what?
on a totally side note, I was just connected. I was talking to somebody and I said, what was happening politically. Now, I live in a world of, I know what's going on a higher level. There's Shemayim for what's going on in Iran. I said there will be some technologies invented in Israel that will shift the entire dynamics of the world. So, and the power dynamics of.
No, but this math,
No.
stuff, I have to learn this from him.
No,
I mean, this is unbelievable.
this is channeled down. This is awesome.
This is
stuff.
real. Nobody has this. But if he's
No, we're going to find that the Yosef Ben Yomen, the same tikkun. Where is it? Show me to what? What are they connected to?
Right. Make sure
can't. It's nothing like
you getting
that.
the maps too?
Yeah. Okay.
We'll get
So,
there. We have it.
So even if we want to become more dynamic in it, so if we take the first Ben Ish Chai, right? We take the first Ben Ish Chai, that the ore transformed into the iron, it became this,
or an eye.
right? Okay? So in this relationship to this, it became this. That was his numerical value,
Right, 69. Oh,
all right?
So
So
69 was what? Sorry.
that's
Because
his,
if you subtract iron,
Okay, so okay.
okay.
Or for more.
So now, this is the Ben Ish Chai. I'll add to my idea to the Ben Ish Chai. So he says, and you see inside of the Shmon Esrei, and the Rashash says it also, this word.
yeah, you're gone.
Now, where did it come from? Look at its numerical value.
Yeah.
So that's the same numerical value of this.
Right.
Now, I contend that what this is that the light folded upon itself.
Yeah.
Okay? Now this represents a light particle. So I fold this upon this upon this 69 times. These are scales on time the person. So these things close up the spaces in between, and therefore you can't experience.
And that's your
Now, okay, so now what I'm about to tell you, probably get the Nobel Prize for Physics, I guess, is that the world basically in its composure of ore was in a coherent state. Coherent light means that all the waves are exactly alike, the waves in the show, so which means the experience that you get is clarity, meaning the sky is blue, everything goes well, you feel good because you're light.
Right.
So if you put a child who's autistic underneath a light bulb that's fluorescent, he'll go nuts. If you give him food energetically, which is not well, he'll go crazy. But if you put him under halogen bulbs or he listens to Bach, listens to music, which is coherent somewhat, he'll feel good. In other words, autistic child are whacked out because the world is whacked out, because they're pure souls. So depression, which is this word creates, it's a function of light, like being in Seattle, there's no sun, so you're depressed because you're getting less light, right? Raya Ludova, I believe, is that the word for sin in Hebrew is avon.
Well, how do you get the oven suddenly?
That's the word, because here's the ayin. What caused the actual sin itself was the ayin,
Right.
which was the 70. Now, where do you see this? So you see it in this word. It's that these were the
Wait, so how did you get the oven? Just a second.
avon. I took out the gimel,
Yeah.
and I took out the yud, and I replaced it with the ayin.
That's what you did. You made
No,
the
because
chiluk.
these letters that are replacement units, I hold that
yeah.
these are the three letters that cause the whole thing. This is
Gimel,
what it-
ayin, nun.
Yeah, which is 66, which is the sixth day and the sixth thing, and we call it, whoever calls it Greek. Now, but what you'll notice, this is my word, is that every year on Hanukkah, what parsha do you read? What parsha do you read?
You read Vayeshev and Miketz.
Yeah, the story of Yosef, which is, watch this.
Nisayam.
Yeah.
Nes Yavan.
Now, what's so significant about these two letters in relationship to this? So this letter here, which is the Nun, this is the letter that's predominant inside of God's holy name that represents Malchut in the physical world, which is 50, which is, Baba, and this you already know is the symbol for coherent light in the end because it's moving in that particular way.
So how do you get Nun to Malchut? I didn't get that.
Because I'm going to show you here like this. Okay, now you got to get a little more sophisticated. You ever notice the Nun a hipuk inside of the Torah?
Yeah, and then Parshas Valoska.
So I hold that it's a form of a parenthesis.
The what? The point?
No, the opposite Nuns, the upside down Nuns.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you got to listen very, very carefully. So this is a level of Kabbalah that isn't even discovered yet. This is without quantum physics, you wouldn't understand it. So why do I want the word this word? Okay, why do I need this? I put it over there. So.
What do you do?
Yeah, what do I need?
What is that?
Why? That's a dollar. That's God's holy name. Why did he use that particular name?
Adon.
Is there any significance to that? You'll probably find this reason, that reason, this one. Well, the answer is that I found is that sound and light are interchangeable, but
Especially for Shmirah, too.
no, well, watch this. But when you say like this, when you say Yud Vav
No, he
Nun,
wants us to do it all mathematically.
when you say like this Yud Vav Nun,
Yeah.
so this is the energy going into the klipa,
Right.
okay? But Kolel, this is 65, this is this. Now why is this turned out to be the letters? Is I'm going to show you mathematically that it couldn't be anything else but this, okay? When I show you this, you got to stand up and applaud. This is not me. This is not me telling you
Wait
this.
a minute, this is 66 you're getting here.
Yeah, but 65
Why are you
is
getting...
one, because this is where the Malchus went.
Uh-huh.
The Malchus went into this. This, we're getting this.
This is the
Kolel is
harmonically?
this. Because it's harmonically. Now watch. We already learned that Aleph is 1,
Right.
1, 1.
Right.
So Daled with a Yud is 4, 4, 4.
Right.
You know that? When you spell Daled out. Yes?